We're going to go to Brother Steve Coakley, and he breaks it down.
Welcome to Southern California, KPFK, Brother Steve Coakley.
Hey, good evening, brother.
One of our great researchers that have exposed the boule, a phenomenon that most of us in the movement never knew about until you brought light, took the sheets off of these Negro Klan members and explained to us what the boule is all about. So what we'd like you to do is tell us the history of the boule, who the boule are, their origins, and the relationship to the ruling class.
Thank you, brother. One, I would thank you for hosting me and my friends here, and appreciate you and all your company. Everybody's excessively intense, and that is the demand of the day. This secret society, this particular black secret society that we'll talk about today, is the first of the black Greek societies, started in 1904, and that word that you said, boule, is actually an acronym. It's a Sigma Pi Phi. Sigma Pi Phi, 1904 in Philadelphia. And for most of our people, we are not prepped to the responsibility of secret society in the American society. Mm-hmm. And this founding constitution, this illegal criminal enterprise, was a Masonic affair. And a Masonry is a form of secret society. There are other well-known secret societies like Skull and Bones at Yale, of which this corrupt president and his father were members of. And it is that society that the black society modeled itself after. So when they wrote their first history book, The History of Sigma Pi Phi, by a very noted black author, University President Charles Wesley, who wrote the history book for the Elks, the Prince Hall Masons, National Council of Negro Women, Alpha Phi Alpha, and Sigma Pi Phi. And as a result, in there, in page 28 of its first history book, it noted that it wanted to be like Skull and Bones at Yale.
So Brother Steve Coakley asserts that the boule was modeled after the Skull and Bones secret society at Yale. Sigma Pi Phi Grand historian Rodney J. Reed describes the relationship between Sigma Pi Phi and Skull and Bones on the Sigma Pi Phi website, wherein he writes, members would not be selected on the basis of brains alone, but in addition to congeniality, culture, and good fellowship that they shall have behind them at initiation, a record of accomplishment, not merely be men of promise and good education. His fraternity would contain the best of Skull and Bones, of Yale, and of Phi Beta Kappa. There's Skull and Bones. Didn't we see that symbol earlier? Henry McKee Minton derived his conception of Sigma Pi Phi, the boule, from Skull and Bones. Wow. The History of Sigma Pi Phi by Charles H. Restley. On page 28, Restley writes, Minton wanted to create an organization which would partake in the tenets of Skull and Bones at Yale. Here's Skull and Bones, established in 1832 at Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut. And who's that right there? Bush. His daddy was in it, and his granddaddy was in it.
Which one? Point to him again?
Right here.
He's a Bush, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So was John Kerry.
John Kerry was as well. Mm-hmm. Remember George Bush and John Kerry, they was in opposition, right? Well, they was in the same society. They was in the same secret society. Wow. And this is what he want to model the boule after? And he says it right here. Minton wanted to create an organization which would partake in the tenets of Skull and Bones at Yale. These are grave robbers. Look at this. Here's Geronimo, Skull and Bones. Here's George Bush. His grandfather stole the bones, desecrated, and brought it back to the tomb, what they call the tomb.
So Bush's grandfather stole the bones? He was one of them.
Yeah, well, he was one of them who participated, Prescott Bush. Yeah, I had an article right here that Brother Gate. So here's Geronimo, 1829, 1909. Geronimo Skull, this was Wednesday, May 12, 2010. You can get a lot of this online. But this deals with how it was stolen. As the story goes, the legendary rebel was not allowed to lie in peace after his death in U.S. captivity in 1909. 6 members of Yale Skull and Bones secret society, including Prescott Bush, grandfather to 43rd President George W. Bush, allegedly dug up Geronimo's grave while serving as Army volunteers in Oklahoma during World War I. Okay? And it just goes on to talk about what happened afterwards. Now, remember we had gone back earlier. I just want to read this to you just so we have it in our minds. Members would not be selected on the basis of brains alone, but in addition to congeniality, culture, and good fellowship, that they shall have behind them at initiation a record of accomplishment, not merely to be men of promise and good education. His fraternity will contain the best of Skull and Bones.